God! This is my house, Tamika. It's my house. Tell her, Justin, it's my house. Oh my God. Well, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia, the diva with one damn earring on. Lord, where's my other earring? But I am here, of course, to discuss Southern Charm New Orleans. We are in season 2. I don't know what episode we're on, but all I know is that this episode was called The Runaway. Y'all, Jeff need prayer and therapy. Jeff is the reason why this episode is titled as such. It got so bad this episode until they had to break, what is it called? The third wall, the fourth wall, whatever it is. But Jeff need help. He hurting. I really thought he was okay. I wanted to believe that, but he need to get some help. He's alone. The only person that claimed that they loved him has abandoned him, so he in a bad way. But before we get into that, again, hello. If this is your first time here, my name is Miss Sophia the Diva. I am a stand-up comedian as well as commentator of reality and scripted TV radio show host. I can also be your personal stylist, social media manager, you name it. A diva can do it. I can also do some consultation sometimes on certain documentation that you may need reviewed. That's all I would say. Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades. Either way, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, share and like, comment. Let's have a conversation. Join the conversation about Southern Charm, New Orleans, okay? So when we left off last episode, we were at Justin and Kelsey's housewarming. Now, there has been a point of contention since we've seen the show where Kelsey and Tamika don't get along. I'm not going to lie and sit here and tell you guys that Tamika is not my favorite. She's my favorite. I love her on this show. She's the realest. And yes, she can be a little mean, but I get sometimes where she's coming from. Kelsey, I'm not going to lie. I like Justin a lot, but I really don't have any, and it's not just because of Tamika. When Kelsey first came on the scene, I didn't particularly care for her. And I think it really is because, and she said something today where she said, I really don't have a voice. But I think the problem with Kelsey is that Kelsey is always seeking acceptance. Instead of just playing it cool and being herself, hanging in the cut, you attract people that way. You ever notice how when someone's kind of mysterious and standoffish, you kind of tend to be more curious about them? Or people who are a little bit more gregarious naturally. It's like Kelsey hasn't quite figured out how to fit in. And Justin kind of feels stuck in the middle, okay? But during this housewarming, what happened is that Jeff decided to brag in front of Reagan. Since, you know, Reagan is bragging about all these great things happening in her life, he felt compelled to be like, yeah, I went on a date. I think that everybody likes me better than you. I was like, to be honest, that's true. I know from the audience perspective, none of us have liked Reagan either. But he started getting loud, and that's when Tamika was like, okay, we need to talk. You're not fine. Well, it got a little loud. She was being a mama bear. Kelsey comes in, puts her hands in Tamika's face, and is screaming about, you need to bring it on down, okay? You need to bring it on down because this is my house. It's my house. And it's like, you do not have to be so loud and try to tell somebody to respect you in your home. Because Tamika's the type where she kind of just protective of her friends and wants their best interest at heart. I get that. I'm kind of like that too. That's probably why one of my friends is not my friend anymore. He chose his husband over me. And that's okay. But I still think that I said what I said and I'm cool on it. You know, dude kicked me off the Costco membership and everything. Didn't say nothing, but I didn't like his partner. I didn't. So, and then I went to Costco one day and found out that I didn't have a membership no more because I guess his husband needed the card more than I did. I digress. I just wanted to know, Kelsey, why are you yelling to be heard? Because it seems like the more you yell, it's like amusing. It's more like you were a chihuahua yelping at a labradoodle or something, if I can use that, okay? she said, I just want my guests to feel safe. And I'm like, no one's afraid of Tamika. Everybody knows how Tamika is. And so everyone's looking at you like boo foo fool. And Justin, I kid you not, was hanging around the corner like, I ain't getting involved in that. Because the bottom line with Justin is this. I done figured it out. Justin is an attorney, yes. But he don't like dealing with that shit in his house, okay? He is non-confrontational. I am too. For many of y'all who know, I do have a law degree. I just don't have a license to practice because I gave up. I was like, I'm going to become a school counselor. I tried a few times with California bar exam. I may set for the Georgia bar. I don't know, but quite frankly, I'm happiest when I'm working with children, and I don't want to be working in a capacity with them as an attorney. I want to be working with them as a way to guide them and lead them into better life choices. So, and I'm non-confrontational too. Now, I'll get with you sometimes, like just for amusement. Sometimes on social media, I'll get into it with people. I was like, I will, because I'm petty. I come from a family of petty. My brother and sister, one of my brothers and my sister and I, we get it from my father. We just petty. But let me get back on subject so we can get through this review. One of the most disturbing things, and we're just going to summarize Jeff right here in this moment. Jeff, baby, you need help. Everyone is leaving the party. Tamika's like, fuck this shit. I'm out. She ain't got to kick me out. Come on, Barry, let's go. I was leaving anyway. Okay, because Tamika ended up with her drink on her because Kelsey decided to grab her and try to drag her outside so they could talk woman to woman. Jeff is now in the neighborhood, pissing on people's lawns, doing calisthenics, just acting a fool, getting in other people's cars. It was just really embarrassing. And he was drunk. So Tamika had to call him the next day to make sure he's okay because they had to play a game of hide and seek, like, where is Jeff? So Jeff is cleaning up his house. And if you look at this house that him and Reagan used to share, I'm sorry, Miller Lite time. He got all of that bottles and shit all over the house. I'm like, Jeff, baby, you got to do better than that. Your house is a reflection of what you're going through. Right now is chaos, disorder, depression, rage. If you name it, you feel all these things. And therefore, because of what happened tonight, I think you need to seek help. Barry, as y'all know, has decided to launch a clothing line, an athletic line, which is microbial. I can't even talk, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. In other words, when it dries or whatever, it whisks sweat away, and there's not a smell. I don't know, for those of you who work out like I do, after I get off sometimes, the underarms, everything, my sports bras, I got to go buy new sports bras because I'm like, oh my God, what's that odor? Because you sweat a lot. You do. And so he has this line of clothing. Jeff was in the fashion show. After the fashion show, Jeff leaves with one of Tamika's homegirls, and she was like, I'm cool staying the night with you. I was like, girl, do you know how Jeff really is? Do you feel safe at this point? Because look how he acting now. I mean, his whole presentation on the runway was signs of somebody just in a manic state. He disappears. And Tamika, Rainey's daughter, had to see it. She looks to Jeff as an uncle. She's like, what the hell's wrong with him? Barry, everybody's looking for him. Everybody's like, where's Jeff? Because he disappears. Everybody's like, Jeff always ends up in a dangerous place. And my thing with that is, I don't want to speak this, but I feel like sometimes when Jeff goes into has these episodes and wanders off, and he even told the producers had to go look for him because Tamika and Barry had to get ready for their lives the next day. And they're like, we're going to put you in a cab. No, I don't want to go get in the cab. I'm going to go somewhere dangerous. I'm going to run. You know I like to run. And I'm going to keep running because nobody cares about me. Jeff, who are the they that don't care about you? The only person that don't care about you is your greedy ass family and your ex-wife, Reagan. And I don't care how Reagan tries to say that she cares about Jeff. She don't. Because if you did, you would have never done him the way that you did. You knew at the time when you were with him that you did not really want to be with him, that you wanted to be with Reese. But you had to give Reese time to get his shit together. I think that's foul. It just is. And now Jeff is just a hot ass mess. And he's disruptive to other people's lives. Here's the bottom line. Miss Sophia the Diva recommends for Jeff Charleston that Jeff Charleston seek and find a therapist / counselor, whichever one you choose. Get on their sofa 3 times a week. Get you a good psychiatrist. Go to them once a month. Have them work with your meds and get the levels right. Balance everything out for you because you need that. Quite frankly, I'm not saying that you're bipolar or anything, but I do feel like you are suffering from a psychotic break. I think the psychotic break began the day you found out when your parents had robbed you blind. And it has continued with the other things like Reagan deciding that she wants to separate from you. And also it doesn't help that Reagan would constantly antagonize you and convince you that you were crazy, for lack of a better term, that you were a little mental. After this housewarming, Justin's like, damn, can we just eat, drink, and be merry? I said, no, Justin, you can't, because you do know that the formula for a good reality show is everybody sit at the table and throw butter knives and turn tables over and bring up shit that's really not important and make big things out of little things. That's just what they do. That makes for good TV. You should know that. And he actually commented. Oh my God, he actually commented. Oh, Jesus, where is it? Justin was like, okay. This is like, oh my God, this is too funny. Barry has planned out Rainy's life. He went to go pick her up and he was telling her, you know, I'm doing all of this and, you know, you may want to go to Stanford someday. She was like, how do you know I'm going to go to Stanford? I'm like only 10. I was like, yeah, she might want to go to an HBCU. I mean, Xavier is like right there. And then there's the fabulous Tulane, the other TU. Because, you know, I went to the University of Tulsa. Go TU, Golden Hurricanes. What? Reese is having a birthday. And Reagan, as y'all know, will all go big. Reese shares with us that, quite frankly, none of the stuff that she's preparing is anything that he wants, like cakes and pies and shit. Well, he said certain pies. He was like, I really just want a cake. I was like, Poe Reese, you don't know, do you, baby? That's how Reagan do. She don't listen to what y'all tell her you want. You gonna do what she wants you to do. So I see you allow that to happen. But he was very helpful. We also meet Reese's mom. She seems like a fair and reasonable person. Kelsey is trying to elicit sympathy from what happened at the housewarming from Reagan and everybody's kind of like, well, you know, this is just how Tamika is. She was like, because I was ever talked like I always am. And I'm like, is that in life in general? I mean, because you're a nurse, you should be able to boss up, especially if you work in the ER or hospital, period. Girl, you better boss up. As I always tell some women who feel like they're weak, y'all need to watch Fried Green Tomatoes and get your inner Tawanda up. Girl, dig in deep, okay? Some ways Uncle Sam gave me mine. Between my mother and Drill Sergeant Michelle Page, I am the woman I am today. Tough as nails. Sometimes I get a little sad and weak, but for the most part, I'm just like, girl, you gotta keep going. Tamika shows up to Reese's birthday and Kelsey gets nervous and goes and finds a corner to call Justin because Justin is like, I probably won't be there. I have a lot of work to do. Because anytime an attorney is getting ready for trial, let me tell you, it can be intense. There was a time when I worked for a huge firm before even going to law school. I remember one pay period because we got paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month, or you could say the end of the month and the 15th of every month. There was a pay period when I had 42 hours of overtime prepping stuff for trial. And I was what they call a litigation project assistant. So that's, I'm just saying. So Kelsey gets in the court and calls Justice like, well, Tamika showed up and I don't know what to do. I'm just avoiding her. And I'm like, so you are at a party unaccompanied by Justin, and so now you gonna go run and hide. Why even show up if you were gonna do that? Meanwhile, Justin decides, okay, well, I've got to do something. I'm not cool with what Tamika did to my girl. So him and Tamika meet up, and he tells her, bottom line is that when you told her that it wasn't her house, it devalued her. And Tamika was practicing the art of war, basically, because she was like, well, I knew when I said it to her, it was gonna hurt. And then when he said she felt devalued, Tamika was just like, who cares? Like, okay, boss up. And he basically told her that it's going to come down between their longtime friendship and his woman. But honestly, Tamika obviously sees something, because he was like, this is not just some side chick I'm dealing with. This is like my woman. This is my girl. And I'm just like, is it Justin? Is it really? But Tamika says she would try to do better by Kelsey. I don't see it. I don't believe it. I don't think any of us believe it. I don't think Justin, because I just don't see it for Kelsey. I think because she's not assertive. That's what it is. Kelsey's not very assertive, and she cowers in fear. Why, I don't know. Tamika can be intimidating, but how you handle somebody like that, you need to just ignore them and stay in your lane. Don't talk to her. Avoid her. Meanwhile, before this fashion show, Barry was about to be this fabulous person with no fashions. How dreadful. I said, if this don't sound like a repeat of She by Sheree, but Barry pulled it off. First of all, when the samples came in, I was like, y'all remember when Sheree got them terrible samples? Baby, straight up out of China's cheapest manufacturing plant, okay? So Barry gets them. They were all supposed to be different colors. They also didn't have his proper logo on them. So he had to steam press logos on this stuff the night before. But before the product could even get there, Tamika had to get in his ass and tell him, you know, you need to get on it and get under there. He told me, no, I'm still waiting for a callback. And I get that. Sometimes you don't want to be too aggressive or whatever, but it's just one of those things. It's just par for the course. This is a lesson to learn. When you're trying to get something manufactured, I really wish domestically we didn't have to charge so much for people to get a product. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to do business with China. But one thing I've learned when I was thinking about starting a boutique online and then ultimately moving to brick and mortar, I'm still considering that. I just right now don't have the money or the credit. But if you're going to do something like that, where you get your stuff from China, go to where your stuff is going to come from and go look at that place if you can. And that's what you need to do. So that's just food for thought, word of advice. John Moody's on the scene. Hey, he's a vibe. He's a mood. Hey, John Moody. Hey, he's not snooty. He's just a little eccentric, if you know what I mean. But like I always say, that damn John Moody, he's a vibe. He's a mood. Baby, he said that he would wear a thong. I was like, yes, Lord, made in his image. Amen. Because I don't care what nobody say. John is he's an artist. He's sensitive about his shit. But he's just different, and I kind of like it, but he has a banging ass body. He takes very good care of his body. Kelsey calls and lets them know that she's not going to come. Because Justin had already said he had called. He still was prepared for trial and doubt that he would be able to make it. So, of course, Kelsey's not going to come to a Barry and Tamika function. And Tamika was like, who cares? Like, come or don't come. Fine by me. I don't care. I was like, of course you don't care. But you didn't have to be so stank about it, Tamika. John Moody makes his way down the runway. Yes, you better work. Work it, boy. They wouldn't let him work it too much. They covered up his eggplant. It must have been something to see. Who got raw footage of this fashion show? Let us see it. Full frontal. We want to see it. Although I think we've all kind of seen John Moody before. We might need to go back and revisit season 1. Remember when he did that art show on top of the roof with him and Jeanne or whatever her name was? Which, by the way, y'all, Jeanne is balling out of control, honey. She got some mental health clinics. Do you have scholarships? Because I need one to finish out my counseling degree at Clark Atlanta University. I thought Jeff was living his best life when he picked up old girl, but we found out, of course, as I talked about earlier, he really wasn't. Tamika and Rachel have a conversation about Reagan because Reagan, after the show, kind of I'm sure she said, oh, great show, whatever, I'm so happy for you. But she immediately starts going in, oh my God, I need for you girls to like help me with planning the wedding because I'm like so stressed out. And then Tamika is also starting to realize that maybe Reagan and her aren't such good friends because Robin knows things before Tamika, and Tamika feels like she should know first. And I'm like, quite frankly, I've never seen it for y'all's relationship since season 1. I just feel like Reagan is a taker when it comes to, and I have friends like that too. You know, you try to, and I've been guilty of that, but every time like I'm in conversations with my friends or whatever, I always try to make sure that I'm like, okay, shut up, Afia, and let them talk, okay? Hell, this is what YouTube is for. I can talk all day, and if you want to respond, you can. But what I'm saying is that I got where Tamika was coming from after the fashion show, because Reagan's like, me. But Tamika's like, I have a lot of shit going on, and for all of her events, I've tried to be supportive. What's funny about it is that me and my dude had a conversation today about how sometimes in the end you get screwed over. When some of your friends are shining and you're being supportive of them, but when it's your time, they can't do that because they're incapable. And sometimes people feel like you just part of the entourage. You can't be the person that leads the entourage. That's just how that is. So Tamika, quite frankly, I think that, she's a sunshine and blue skies kind of friend, and it's all about her. She's kind of a narcissist, and Reese even said it. He said something to the effect that his mom is a narcissist, and so is Reagan, so to speak. So there you go. So this pretty much concludes the episode. Bottom line is this: we want to see Jeff Charleston get some help. I want the show to get him some help. Please stop exploiting people that y'all know need to get help. Just like I was so proud of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, of all things. It seems like, I don't know if they let Tommy go from her contract, Tommy Lee, because she has a drinking problem and a rage problem. So I'm hoping that with Jeff, y'all get him some help. Cut the cameras, cut the bullshit, get him some help. Next week, Justin and Kelsey appear to be having an intense conversation about their relationship, and Kelsey is having to face some hard truths about the possibility that Justin just simply is not ready to put a ring on it. Because although this is edited, so we don't know what it's going to say, but he says that he's having a hard time moving towards an engagement. And it also appears that because Justin had a major car accident, Justin's also going to have back surgery. And Kelsey was like, I don't want you to have back surgery. And as a nurse, she would know that. Anyone knows when it comes to messing with the spine, anywhere around there, you never know. But one of my best friends, she just recently had that surgery, and she's fine. She's in recovery, getting strength back in her legs and stuff. She had a major health scare, but she's fine. But that's all I've got for this episode. Again, I'm Miss Sophia the Diva. You have been watching my review and thoughts on season 2 of Southern Charm New Orleans, and this one was called The Runaway. That's what it's called. The Runway, Runaway. We're talking about Jeff Charleston. Pray for him, y'all. Like I shared on a video before, I had a really good friend 2 years ago, July 1st, took his life 2 years ago, and I had no clue. We weren't best friends, but we were good friends. I just want Jeff to get some help, and I don't want anything to happen to him. And I see now why Justin was crying too, because it's hard. And in the end, you're not suffering anymore, but the people that you leave behind are. Because we always wonder, if I had just called, could I do better? You just never know. So I want Jeff to get help. I want him to win. But that's all I've got. Again, check me out Tuesday nights on the Diva Disturbed on BFAM 109.6. We stream on a platform called Voscast. Of course, the links will be down below. This week's guest is going to be Just Joey. He's a comedian originally out of Baltimore, now living here in Atlanta, and one of my good friends. We've shared a stage or two in my time here in Atlanta. So, yeah, check us out. 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. East Coast, what? Even though we're just part of the Southeast, because we ain't really got no coast in Georgia. We got a man-made lake. Either way, that's all I've got. I've rambled on long enough. I want all of my buttercups to stay fabulous. Mwah.